everyone that hit the 350 point threshold, which I think was 90% compliance, which is quite a large number that did it. So I have myself in here. If I win, we'll redraw just for fun. I wanted to win the wheel. So drum roll, please. Don't have the sound effects. And we will spin. As simple as that. Okay. Oh my God. This is not right, but Cheryl wins. She won the tickets on Friday. Only fair. All is fair in love and war. I don't know if she's on today. Don't believe so, but her luck is not running out. Good stuff. Wow. Okay. All right. With that said, I'll touch base with her and we'll go from there. So congrats to everybody who hit that threshold. Lots of good results. When you're consistent, the next challenge is literally a week from today to kind of keep us going through summer. So if you haven't seen the registration for that, it was in Monday's email, but I will certainly drop that in the chat as well. Okay, so just open up this doc. Back half blueprint. Everyone's got that in front of them. Okay, so first things first. Wins from the first half of the year. We're halfway through, 50%. So name a couple wins. They don't have to be massive. It could be weight loss related, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe it's strength related. I gave you a few examples here. Lost 9 pounds, hit my first 225-pound deadlift, walk the kids to school every morning. That's unlikely in our winters, but it's an example. So if you already have those filled in, share in the chat. What have those wins been for you? Always start with wins. Wins Wednesday. Okay. You sent that privately. Not a lot of wins showing up in the chat. So you guys are feverishly working. That's good. Next question. What's working? So going a bit more in depth, not just like measurable wins, but hey, you know what? I do my Sunday meal prep without fail. I do my morning walk. My workouts are in the calendar, just like meetings. Haven't missed a workout since X. Getting to bed earlier, whatever that is for you. What's the day-to-day little process-oriented stuff that's working for you? Martha's getting stronger. Walking target to 10K, hitting it 90% of the time. Boom. Yeah, I find that jump from 8 to 10 is tough for me to be 100% on with. Kudos. The time is limited. Okay. Anyone else? What's working? I don't want to move too fast here if this is your first time seeing this document, but we do want to, in the interest of time, keep it rolling. So a couple ideas. Day to day, what are you doing well? And then the tough question, what's not working? The stuff you're dodging. Is it the all or nothing mindset on weekends? Where it's like, I worked hard all week and I'm going to burn the house down that I've been building. Start from scratch again on Monday. Whereas, you know, one off night, no big deal. Get back on track the next meal. Skipping breakfast and overeating later. Calling it intermittent fasting. Hitting snooze on the weekends. Skipping weekend workouts. Jackie, big win. I know you're crushing. 25 pounds down since the start of the year and then some since the program overall. I like that Diane's in the gym today. Nice. Multitasking. There you go. So what's not working? Let's get a couple examples in the chat before we move on. Just to publicly accountable yourself. For me, I'm trying to think of the biggest bottleneck right now. I would say the sleep drift. Summer sleep drift. Kids going to bed later, so I go to bed later. And I still wake up at the same time. I'm losing a half hour. That would be me. So the protein up, Rochelle, need variety. Yeah, if you need variety for your own sanity, sure, but we don't have to vary our diet much as long as we're hitting our targets. Evening snacking for Martha, yeah. Yeah, it's the witching hour for most of us. So the first solution is to go to bed, but that's not going to happen. Psyllium fiber was working for me right now. I'm conserving a bit more of my calories for the evening, but not so much that I have just an open, how do I call this? Like too much room that I think, oh, I'll fill that with Oreo ice cream. And then that gets me in trouble because I can't moderate that. So it's finding that middle ground for you. Fudge bars. Fudge bars might go to. All right. Okay. We got a couple people participating. Hopefully everyone's writing feverishly. We're going to move on then to, so that was the State of the Union so far. Now we're going to audit the 5 categories. Okay. So the 5 habits we preach about all the time: your CAP, your control on the nutrition, your water, your sleep, your strength workouts, and your steps. So out of 10, 10 being like letter perfect 100% of the time, all the time, and down from there. Okay, so there's just some random examples here, but for CAP, a 6 out of 10, because I'm tracking protein only. This is a completely arbitrary example because the calories were just not being consistently tracked. So we start with that and hopefully build up to full CAP. So for you, what is your score so far? And we'll talk about one move to level up being the answer here. So fill that space. So maybe it's pre-logging the day, the night before, the morning of. Meal prep, less meals out, less making decisions in the moment when I'm hungry. You're not you when you're hungry. So let's get 1 or 2 examples of your CAP score and what is one move you're using to level it up over the last half of the year. I know not everyone can type because you're in cars and stuff. I get that. Thanks, Martha. I appreciate you being a participant. So CAP 8 out of 10, cut down on the evening snacks or make better choices. Good. Anyone else? Once, twice. Yeah, so Lori's crushing that one. Meal planning is the key. Making better snack choices overall. Excellent. Good. Water intake. So this one we find is less of a problem for the majority, but maybe it's a 9 out of 10 with slight room for improvement. So one move to level up, or just keep doing what you're doing if it's right where you want it to be. So arbitrary example here, 5 out of 10, fill up a liter bottle, one that stays chilled by 8 a.m. and refill it twice. Boom. Right. At least 2 to 4 liters is the range. Okay. Good. Easy enough. That one's probably not too problematic. The majority. If you find it's affecting your sleep, you're getting up more often, then again, taper off in the evening. There's some evidence that like sea salt in your last cup of water, if you can stomach it, helps retain a bit more water. But again, the scale might reflect that a little bit in the morning, but you'll go pee less frequently. So I tend to get a liter within the first hour or 2 of the day. And so that is just kind of evenly spaced the rest of the way. Okay, sleep. Out of 10. Again, I'm giving you an example of someone that's struggling. So 4 out of 10, because the phone has to be out of the bedroom by 10. Read a book or nothing. So in our fictional example here, they're doom scrolling till 11 or 12, and it takes a while to wind down. So they're cutting into that 7 hours, getting less than that. So something within your control. Obviously, there are extenuating circumstances that can affect this. A partner that snores, hormonal challenges, whatever the case may be. Yeah, you might need to do a brain dump before bed there, Martha. Like journaling sometimes helps so that you're not trying to figure these things out in your sleep and it wakes you up in stress. Good on the no screens, add a timer to trigger the bedtime routine, Donna. Yeah, that should help. A reverse alarm on your phone might work as well. A timer, I guess if you can do that, cool. Okay, that one's pretty good as well. So lifting weights. So again, we aim for 3 sessions a week. If it's less than that, it's just you have to do so much volume in that workout that you start to get junk volume where you're fatigued and you're not using quite the same intensity as you do. So I like 3. Sometimes I like 4 sessions if someone's really stuck. Then we can spread out more of that volume because volume is the key. But 3s, if you can be consistent with that, stick to it. So for this person, they're 7 out of 10. They seem to miss their Friday, so we're shifting them to a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, so that Saturday mornings they protect religiously for themselves so that they get those 3 in, as one example. So please share your examples if you have them, like where you're ranking. The workouts are 10 out of 10 for Martha. I know some people have trouble with that 3rd session, but that's one way to do it, is make it your first thing you do on the weekend. It sets the tone for better eating habits as well. So lots of 10s. We got lots of workout themes here. Good. We'll take that. So no level. There's no move to level up if you're already acing it. But you might want to consider potentially a short 4th, like bonus, like low intensity pump workout on Saturdays. That can be a helpful way to get a bit more volume in during the week, build a bit more muscle, but not necessarily the move for everybody. All right, steps. Last but not least, fictional example, 6 out of 10. So too much time at a desk. We're going to try to incorporate walking meetings in this case. You don't have to be on a video call. Do it pacing around the house or outdoors. And then after meals, 10 to 15-minute walk. Blood sugar regulation, you feel more energized. Again, try to make things as inefficient as possible. Park at the back of the lot. All right. So what's your score out of 10? If you're below a 9 or a 10, one move to level that up. A couple examples here. Quick walk after meals goes far. Jeez, you guys are all 10s. We need some people struggling here to fill out this. Okay. There you go, Donna. So 8 to 10, more breaks during work hours. Yeah, you'll find you unlock. I find if I'm stewing on something, the best thing I can do is get some fresh air, some sun, some movement. I come back, I'm like, oh, I can see this challenge from a wholly different perspective. And it's a lot easier. Okay, so if you're not quite done all these, no worries. You have this working document. You can save with your changes at any time. And I would encourage you probably to print this at some point, just because it's more front of mind. All right, step 3, define the win. So this, we won't ask you to be fully complete with, but at least you can fill in some of the gaps. So what is that North Star you're aiming for by the end of the year, by New Year's Eve? Because if you don't know where you're headed, you're probably already there. Okay. It's not designed to set you up to fail, but when you set a target, you get closer to it than if you did not set any target at all. So again, this example is like weight focused, doesn't have to be. So this guy wants to be 195 from 218, pants fitting again, shoulders look broader than my belly for the first time. Random example. What is that for you? So body feels like I just fit a pants I've been wanting to fit for years. Something measurable that you can kind of dangle as a carrot here. Okay. And no worries if you don't want to share in the chat, that's okay. This is for you to put out into the universe and not stress about having to hit it, but just having a target. Okay. So if you didn't already put it in the first one, what's the specific waist or strength target or whatever you're trying to hit by the end of the year? Thanks, Lori, for that. More energy, clothes fit better. So just paint the picture. All good so far. Weekly training rhythm. So this is just a reminder of what's important. So the example I shared, like he needs the Saturday workout because Friday isn't fitting in. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday lifts, daily 30-minute walk, 1 pickup hockey night a week. That is his movement. Or his training. Okay. So what does that look like for you? It's scheduled in the app, but just reinforce yourself. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, daily walk after meals, whatever it is. And feel free to share a few examples in the chat, just so we have a nice little Rolodex of options and ideas for people watching this back on replay. My nutrition rules I'll follow. Obviously, that should be fairly self-explanatory, but beyond the cap, what works really well for you? Is it drinking a cup of water before your coffee in the morning? Is it protein at every meal? That should be a staple, but that's a good reminder to yourself. The 80-20 rule on weekends, where you get a bit more of your carbs from worse sources than normal for some variety. Okay, so we got walk before each meal. You might want to, chunk that back to after your meals. You might find, at least when it comes to digestion, there's some benefits to that. Blood sugar lowers, etc. Okay, very good. Nutrition rules. Any ideas that you guys have? I don't love the word rules, but just those daily things that you do that make you successful. That's a good one, Martha. Like front loading your proteins, you're not chasing that number by the end of the night. 80 grams of protein at 8 p.m. Tall order, right? And then on that same token, beyond nutrition, what are my non-negotiable habits? Is it bed by 10:30? I talked about this guy needs the phone out of the bedroom or else he doom scrolls. It's walk before jumping on your phone in the morning. Couple things that is really going to move you towards that big North Star goal of yours if you were able to do them consistently. So drop a few of those there and then we can move on. Good. Okay. Slowly but surely. This is along the same lines, but a real visualization exercise now. Okay, good. So it's December 31st or December 25th. I did a Christmas morning example here. You can do New Year's Eve too. So paint the picture of where you are, what you're doing. I'm with kids, parents stopping by later. What are you proudest of from the back half of this year? I stuck with the big five through all the usual culprits that tend to get in the way. Halloween, work conference, December. It wasn't, when I did slip, it wasn't for long. What are you proudest of? Got to get a bit deeper here. A few more layers off the onion on this page. Because this is really, believe it or not, this is really powerful. Oftentimes, what you put on this page, you manifest it, mainly because you now know where you're headed, so you take the appropriate actions to get there. It's not just because some woo sitting in a basement. You attract results. Law of attraction is incomplete. But by putting it out there, I stuck to my plan. Celebrate an amazing year. There it is. Yeah. Okay. How my clothes fit, how I feel in my body. I wear the 35 jeans I never or haven't fit forever. Shirt is tucked in from the family photo for the first time in 5 years. It's cut off here, but it only gives you one line, unfortunately. What is that thing that makes you the most proud of how you feel physically? Let's put that here. And I'm totally cool with all sharing this. But if you don't mind sharing, that'd be great. Just so we have examples. Okay. We're almost there on this page. Yeah, I like that, Lori. Bathing suit, and I feel good, confident, awesome, right? Not in our head about how we look. Yes, no more body shaping undergarments. I love it, Donna. Au naturel. Boom. Owning it. What am I doing that I couldn't do 6 months ago? So this is actually, the real benefits. We've talked a lot about the physical change. But what am I doing that I couldn't do 6 months ago? Skating with my kids without losing my breath. This is for some with younger kids. Picked up my youngest with one arm. Coached the team because I felt confident being out there. Just coach, whatever. Whatever it is, it's yours and yours alone, but it's the thing that's going to make you realize, oh, wow, all the work was worth it. Sleeping better, less stress. Yeah, and stress can come from external forces, as you know. But all this stuff is making you more adaptable to it. Hopefully some of those things will work themselves out. Walked a 9K run. Still had energy to play with my grandchildren. Yes. Yes, that comes up a lot. Like, whoa, I went curling, full day bonspiel, then got my workout in. I have energy I used to have 20 years ago. Like, that's what we're after. Love that. All right, and this one you really can't control. Some people are more supportive than others, but how my family and partner notices the change. So maybe they'll give you validation, maybe not. But they might hint at it, just how they look at you differently. So in this guy's example, my wife said I looked like the guy she married. That's going to light him up, right? My son, boy, asked if I'd teach him how to lift some weights. Leading by example. This is often the proudest moments of our whole process. Suzanne, daughter who's into fitness, is encouraging. Yeah, that's great. Definitely need those support pieces around you. But whether you get it or not, it's about you and you alone and leading by example. And oftentimes, by osmosis, those around us will be inspired, will support us, will give us that validation. Yeah, hopefully, Suzanne, they'll pick up the slack once they see what you accomplish. Can lead a horse to water, right? Yeah, it's often, Martha, about how we actually feel about ourselves at the end of the day. There we go. So it's already happening for you guys, but at the end of the year, where are they noticing the change? Wow, you don't snap at me as much. That's a win. All right. Moving on. Very good. That one might take some time to massage and look back on, but I encourage you to really complete this because something to be said for visualizing, painting the future picture we want. So the 90-day blueprints, we're just going to start with July and August, and then these can kind of be filled in as you go because they're fluid and things may change. But for July, what is your focus? So this, for obviously the example of someone kind of starting out, is just build the foundation, get those 3 lifts in a week. He, fictional Fred, we'll call him, misses that Friday workout. So now we moved it to Saturday so that he has no missed days. In terms of his habits, that phone has to be out of the bedroom by 10. And the win to celebrate is this 3 full weeks of 3 lifts in a row. That's going to give him validation that he's getting consistent. So for you, what is that focus in July? The one habit to install to help with that doesn't have to be related to the focus, of course, but doesn't hurt. And then the win you're going to celebrate. Another example might be tightening up nutrition, protein at every meal. One habit to help with that is like Sunday meal prep. And then the win, down 5 pounds from the start of July. Okay. So the main focus, Lori, is make wise choices when dining out. Yeah, dining out is difficult for sure. You can get like egg whites and then you lift up the egg whites and there's like a vat of oil underneath. It's like no matter what you order at a restaurant, there's oil. But we make the best choices we can. We allow some room. We use the work back method to give us a lot of calorie room so that we can fit those meals out because they're important. Anyone else? Main focus for July. And we'll come back to this at the first call of each month. So I'm not going to have you fill this out completely. We're going to clean up sleep. And the one habit you're going to install, Martha, to help with that. Yeah, okay, good. I'm paying attention. Journal before bed to do a brain dump. Love it. Okay. And then make sure you have a win. Like, okay, I averaged 7 hours, 5 nights this week. After that, awesome. That's something to acknowledge as progress. Okay, good. So no need to fill out the rest. It's going to be kind of fluid, but again, we'll come back to this each month. But I would have maybe some working ideas, at least for the next quarter here. Okay, pretty much at the end here. So now we're going to look at the main obstacles and your main defense plan to deal with that. Okay, so this fictional Fred has this ritual of having a beer that leads to 3 and chips every Friday night. So we're having to adjust this because one binge can really throw off the best laid plans. So he's going to move his beer to Saturday and pre-portion a snack on Friday because it's the beer that triggers more consumption of the food. Really, it's just like marijuana, gives you the munchies. I think there's another term for it, but so there you go. What is your first major obstacle? You know, is probably the biggest thing you need to tackle. Just write that down, and then what's your defense plan? And you might need a plan B too, but at least for now, your main defense. Another example, work travel, hotels and conference food. We're going to pack some protein bars for the in-betweens. We are going to hit the hotel gym on day 1. Can't say that's going to happen. It's just the rest of the way. It's late nights, early mornings. And walk between sessions. Get some fresh air out of that cold air conditioning. And then make the best possible choices at the provided meals. All right, let's get some examples here we can workshop. What's your obstacle? We may have already kind of discussed it in some aspect of the previous pages. Yeah, there you go. So stress, defense is starting a gratitude journal. Love it. And no, you shouldn't need 7 obstacles, hopefully, but these are just a filled out example. So Halloween candy, out of sight in the basement. The best hack is to buy Halloween candy on Halloween, not October 1st, because you're going to keep going back to buy more. So that might be the way to do it, is don't buy Halloween candy until Halloween. There might be weekend sleep-ins, killing Saturday workouts. So again, you might have to go to bed early on Friday night, treat it more like a weekday, have the gym bag out, etc. Whatever the case is, whatever you're trying to work on. Okay. So hopefully everyone's got at least one obstacle and one defense plan in place. Because we want to wrap up this call without rushing you. I think this is the most important page. You're making a commitment. There's a written contract on what you're trying to accomplish by the end of the year. And you don't have to say, oh, I have to weigh 170 pounds or else. Although that works, like I talked about at the retreat, the blackmail diet, right? But I don't like that kind of pressure necessarily. So I would suggest tying it to the commitment you're going to make each and every week until the end of the year. 3 lifts a week, unless I'm sick, every week between today and December 31st. Vacation included. They've got nice gyms on vacation. It's a nice way to start the day. Phone out of the bedroom by 10:30, right? He's committing to this every day. Sunday meal prep, Sunday plan the week, ritual. 90 minutes is probably doesn't take that long, but that buys me back time the other 6 days where I'm not thinking about what I have to eat for every meal. So that's the idea with this, is to put something that you're committing to for the rest of the year. Let's get some examples in the chat. Public accountability right here. What are you committing to each and every week until the end of the year? Not all at once. I know you're on a phone, so you can't type, but that's the point, Suzanne. It's supposed to be scary. That's why we put it there, and that's why we get someone to sign this off. Log my meals as I eat them every day. Pre-planned meals. Okay. And as measurable as you can get with this is really good. Because it's going to hold your feet to the fire, which is what its purpose is, right? To get you to not regress to the mean. Okay. If I keep my word, my reward is, this is kind of the carrot versus stick thing. Some people are more motivated by a stick, like a consequence of not doing the work. Most people are more motivated by the reward, but we're going to do both this time to hedge our bets. To Continue to be consistent with Big Five, Lori. I like that one. Beautiful. So in his example, new pair of jeans, if I hit my goal size, weekend trip with my wife, just us. So I would say something along those lines. By the end of the year, I did it, so I'm going to do this. I've earned this. If I break my word, what's the consequence? $500 to the political party I can't stand. You can't give a charitable donation to a cause you support as a consequence, right? So in the blackmail diet example, the author put $5,000 in escrow with his lawyer that was going to be paid out to the American Nazi Party if he didn't hit his goal weight. Aggressive? Yes. Worked? Absolutely, right? We've got a solo trip. I like that. Good. But you didn't tell us what your commitments are, so we need those too. Can't just have a reward with no commitment. And the catch is someone else needs to know about this, right? So the accountability partner, random example, I'll just put my kid here. You might have to do someone that's going to hold you a little bit more, but they may get paid out $500, right? So if a kid knows they're going to get paid $500 if you don't hit your goals, they're going to be keeping an eye on you. A spouse might too. A little trickier, but the idea is you sign off on this. Someone, it can be me, signs off on it as well. So what is a consequence? Anyone has an idea there? That was one that tripped up a lot of people at the retreat. But yeah, there you go, Martha. I don't think there's a lot of MAG on this call, but donation to a Trump-supported charity. There you go. Yeah, that'll motivate you to do the work. All right. So hopefully this document's fairly filled in. I would encourage you to share this page with whoever your accountability partner is. It can be me. And it should be me if you're not going to share it with anyone else. Okay. Someone that's going to be honest and keep you on track with this. And in some cases, you might want to tie the consequence to the accountability partner. This might work better as $500. That's a lot of money, but to my daughter, if I break my commitments, right? Anyway, something along those lines. All right, hopefully this makes sense. Any questions? Let's get to those now if you have them. And once, twice. You guys are all good. Okay, I see some heads nodding, cautiously so. Okay. All right, we'll finish this doc and we will revisit it probably quarterly because I think it's a good idea to have this not just as a one-off fill-in, but you refer back to it. Like I have this right here on my desk. I'm going to look at it not every day, but at least weekly as sort of, am I on track or am I not? What can I adjust? All right. We'll leave it there. Congrats again to Cheryl on winning the Vegas trip. Lucky girl. Talk soon.